What's up, idols? It's CC Lesson 3. Welcome back to my channel, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. So, since yesterday's video, there's been some new information that's come out, and I'm a fair person, so I do think we should discuss everything we've learned since yesterday. There's some apologies, there's some additional clips, and they're all making their rounds now. And because I read some of the comments on yesterday's video, I definitely do want to do a follow-up. First, obviously, if you haven't seen yesterday's video, first watch that and then come back to this so you know exactly what we're talking about. Before we dive in, please leave a like on the video, help engage with the video. If you don't know what to say, leave a comment below that says further watch, and also subscribe if you haven't already. We've been growing a lot lately. It's been a while since it's been like this, and I'm so grateful. Like, seriously, you guys have no idea what doing YouTube means to me, and you guys watching my videos and supporting me, it really means a lot. So thank you so much. So the first thing I want to address is when I read the comments on yesterday's video, there was a lot of people saying they were not at all surprised because they've been open to controversy before. And I'm not gonna lie, I knew nothing of these people until yesterday, but after doing some research and seeing some clips online and some posts online and some articles, I get it. So this podcast was once called Under the Influence, or UTI for short.
Brother,
and now they're called Above the Influence. One particular thing that a lot of people kept bringing up in the comments of yesterday's video is the fact that they've been open to racial controversy before, namely Esther. Esther claims to have read an article somewhere that states black women are looser down there because black men tend to be bigger. She apologized and she said she's going to do her best to not share negative. You know what? Let me just show you the clip in the apology here.
Yeah, I'm going to say something kind of wild, but it's because I saw it somewhere. But I don't know if we might have to cut it out. But anyways, someone said that the reason why some girls tighter than others is because No. It has nothing to do with that. They said that it's because, like, ethnicity wise, like black men have, are known to have larger, so therefore the women have,
that makes sense,
bigger holes.
Oh, that
and then
that doesn't make
A few moments later.
I want to take this moment to sincerely apologize for a topic that I brought up. It wasn't my view or opinion, but I understand that even bringing it up was super inappropriate and harmful. And I've heard so many of you guys, especially in the black community and among black women, and like, I'm just sorry for perpetuating a harmful stereotype. And moving forward, I will no longer bring up any topics that could be harmful to anybody. I mean, we're all Asian, and we've dealt with, like, pretty hateful, like, stereotypes as well, and I should have known better because I've been hurt by those too, So I truly, truly apologize for that. And it wasn't my intention to hurt anyone, but I understand that intentions don't matter when the impact was so hurtful, and I'm learning and I'm growing from this, and yeah, I don't know what to say other than that. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, I think that's the whole point here, is that obviously, like she said, we're all human. We are all human. Like, everyone makes mistakes. I can't take back any of the things I've said. None of us can. But what we can do is try to make the changes going forward. If you want to hate us regardless, that's your freedom to do so. But I think that the people who support us have been waiting for us to own up and take accountability for maybe some of the things that have hurt them as well. And that's what we're going to do our best to do.
another one.
Hi everyone, I want to take this time to address something that has deeply affected many of you. And I want to be completely transparent. I am going to be reading from a prepared statement to ensure that I communicate my emotions, my thoughts, and apologies clearly and sincerely, and so that I don't leave anything out. On my podcast, I discussed a TikTok video that perpetuated dangerous stereotypes, and I know now that I shouldn't have ever brought up those views, even for discussion, and I want to sincerely apologize to the black community, especially black women. After my initial apology, I took the time to look at the responses and understand why my words may have fallen short. I aim for clarity to avoid confusion, but I could see now that it could come off as insincere or dismissive, and that was never my intention. I apologize for not providing the depth that the situation deserved, and I hope that this message can reflect my genuine remorse and my commitment to learning and growing from this. And my intention was never to spread misinformation or to hurt anyone, but I understand that by bringing up those views, that was inappropriate and harmful to many of you guys, and for that I am truly, truly sorry. I acknowledge that I made a significant mistake, and I just want to own up to everything. In the clip, I referenced the video that spread false and offensive stereotypes, and now I know how damaging it is to give voice to these harmful ideas. I should have been more mindful and respectful of the impact that my words could have. This whole experience has been a learning process for me, and I understand that as a content creator, my responsibility is to approach these types of sensitive topics with care. I'm committed to being more aware of the impact of my words, especially when it comes to race and personal identity. I understand that this is a deep issue for many of you, and just mentioning it hurt you, and that was never my intent, but I understand that intent doesn't matter when the impact was so hurtful, and I just want to let you guys know that I never want to hurt anyone, and it genuinely makes me sick to my stomach that I did. I hurt you, and I'm sincerely sorry for that. I also want to apologize for taking some time to address this publicly. I had to take some time off of social media to reflect on how I'm going to be better and to prevent this from ever happening again. I understand if some of you guys don't want to hear this, that's completely fair, and I also know that trust isn't easily regained after a mistake like this. I completely understand. And I also know that some of you guys may respond and say that she's only saying sorry just to say sorry, and I want to emphasize that I genuinely want to take accountability for this and that your feelings are valid. Thank you for those that have been patient with me as I learn and grow from this mistake. I take full accountability for everything, and I just want to say that I hope to be able to gain your trust back through my actions. And yeah, thank you for understanding. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for listening, and take care.
And to his credit, I guess, I'm trying to do my best to be fair. Wuhok did say that's not true or that doesn't make sense. Credit where credit's due, I guess. I don't know. I'm trying to be fair. If you start off any statement that you're about to say on a public platform with, we should probably edit this out, we should probably delete this, I probably shouldn't say this, then don't say it. Your gut was trying to save your reputation and you didn't listen to it. You ignored it. So yeah, a lot of people weren't surprised to hear that these people are tied up in controversy again, saying hurtful, harmful things again. And personally, I just feel like, what is the point of repeating something if you claim to not believe it yourself? Now, I fully understand, like if you're having a discussion or a debate and you're trying to understand two different sides to a point or an argument, you might repeat some information that you don't believe to try to illustrate or demonstrate what the other party is saying. Like, for example, I'm very anti-MAGA, and I might say they believe this, or they think this, they saw this, they're saying this, even if I don't believe it, just illustrate what point I don't agree with, if that makes sense. But if you're just having a conversation, I guess they were talking about men's sizes. I don't know. Again, everything can be taken out of context. All we see is her say, I read somewhere in an article that black women are looser down there, and that's like the intro, right? What is the point of bringing that up, that you read this somewhere, if you don't believe that to some degree, to some capacity? I'm not one to say or repeat something I don't believe unless I'm trying to discuss both sides of an argument, or unless I'm trying to talk about different points of views on a topic, if that makes this. It's hard to explain, if that makes sense. Like, there's no reason to repeat something you don't believe unless you're trying to discuss what you don't believe, I don't know. I wouldn't bring that up if I didn't believe it to some degree, is what I'm saying. I just feel like, what is this game of like jumping on hating black women? Like, there's this bandwagon to just bash black women and hate us. Like, what the fuck did we do to any of y'all? We're always the butt of every joke and someone's exploitation. Sorry, that's another video for another day. So yeah, about yesterday's video, that's the whole point of this. Apparently, the clip that has been making its rounds on TikTok and Twitter was completely taken out of context, as, a lot of things tend to be online. And it was never actually posted publicly on their YouTube channel. I thought that it was like a video they recently posted and had to delete because of the backlash. But apparently the video is like a few months old. Also, correct me where I'm wrong in the comments, but from what I've seen, the video is like 3 months old and it was behind a paywall. So it was never meant to be seen publicly. Someone shared it or leaked it publicly and only selected a small clip to share and leak publicly. Yesterday on Instagram, Wuhok shared the full clip, I guess, of what was said right before and right after. And oh, I didn't say that this was me. I said that I met a girl from New York and she was like the daughter of a rich person, a rich Chinese person. And they told me this. They told me they saw the sex tape with Jennie and this BMW billionaire heir guy. It wasn't me. I never said that. But here's my thing. And I know it's really tough. Like, it's weird to say this, but I feel like you should never say anything publicly online or period with a trail that you would not be okay with everyone seeing at some point, or with anyone seeing at some point, because anything can be leaked, anything can be shown to people you don't know or don't like, and it sucks. It really does suck. Like, I've never taken naked pictures because you never know where that's gonna go. You never know where that's gonna end up. And just because this controversial take was behind a paywall and it was never meant to be public, that doesn't make it any more okay that you said it. And like I said, it was clipped out of context, to be fair. So here's that clip that he shared on his personal socials yesterday.
So I met some random girl in New York, a rich Chinese international student. She was like trying to get me to come out one night, and I was like, nah. She's like, if you do, I'll tell you the craziest tea you've ever heard in your life. And I'm like, I'm not going to, but tell me the tea anyway. So I finally get it out of her. She basically like my friend that I went to like some summer camp with, right, is like the son of the BMW heir, and he Jennie from Blackpink.
Like he paid for her?
Yeah, paid for her and has a sex video and showed me the sex video, and that's how I know it was real. And I was like, what? She didn't show it to me. I was just like, what? And then she like went into it a little bit where she was like, yeah, I mean, like you could like buy any one of those Korean celebrities. And I was like, what?
The whole system is just so disgusting and fucked up, honestly.
It's fucking disgusting. But you know, I was asking the question, what's his name? Blah blah blah. All these things. Started looking it up. I was like, damn, at least it checks out to this point, right? And then like hearing that definitely makes it feel. And also like this girl's vibe just definitely told me your parents have.
Anyway, just like talking about himself, and then he would like love bomb in between. He's like, I'm gonna marry you. You are like my ideal woman, and I'm just like so confused.
This sounds like a nightmare date.
I don't really know if I'm like enjoying this conversation. And then he started saying that like all the K-pop stars in Korea are whores, and all the Korean actresses are whores. And he was like, yeah, they all sleep around, and apparently with every K-pop like Korean celebrity actress, there's a price tag on their head, and if you're rich enough, like a Chinese businessman, you can like go to these entertainment companies and request spending a night even with the top K-pop stars, like even like IU, but it's like $500,000 a night.
But also keep in mind that even that clip he shared yesterday is clipped. Like you can see that some things were cut out. There's some jump cuts, some editing. So they could have said something awful. They could have said something that they wouldn't want anyone to see or might paint them as more of a villain, and they chose to cut out. So again, that could be out of context too. Take it all with a grain of salt. And you know, it's the same with Kira. Like she says that she didn't say this. Someone she was on a date with said this and had these thoughts and shared these views, and she was quoting him. The thing that I just find fascinating about all of this is if they did not name specific names, no one would be talking about this right now. If you didn't bring up IU, if you didn't bring up Jennie, if you didn't bring up Top and the rest of Big Bang, I don't think anyone would care about this because, let's be fair, these types of sexual exploitations and sexual arrangements, whatever, like whether they're consenting adults or they're the victims of this, we know it happens and it's unfortunate. I would say if you're trying to expose the dark side of K-pop, then there's no reason to use the words he used when he said that they're all whores, all Korean celebrities are whores. You didn't have to say that. I'm sorry, but there's no good reason to name anyone specifically and directly unless you have actual proof. It's never a good idea to be the first source of something like this unless you witnessed it directly. If there are articles, if there's videos out there, if there's other physical evidence that anyone can easily look up themselves, that's one thing. But if you're the first to make a claim and your source is my friend told me this, so I'm saying this, you're setting yourself up for failure. And what sucks is when you say these things and make these claims, it is dangerous. Now, there's a good chunk of people out there, and you know, it does seem like most people don't believe any of this or don't want to believe, I don't know. Most people, it does seem like they're siding with IU and Jennie and Top and all that. But there are people out there now who say, oh, IU's a prostitute. And I know this because Kira from Above the Influence said so. Now you're opening speculation and people are now wondering and thinking about this and talking about this. Jennie has a sex tape. Wuhok said so himself. By the way, yesterday I kept saying Wuhok. I don't know why I kept saying Wuhok. I'm so sorry. It's Wuhok. It's so easy to tarnish names and reputations with rumors. Words are dangerous, and don't get me wrong, like I said, it is so unfair how things can be so easily cut, clipped, and taken out of context online. As a YouTuber, trust me, I get it. That's why you got to be careful about what you say and how you say it, whether it's public here on YouTube or a little more privately behind a paywall. That being said, I do have a problem with Wuhok's apology, if you want to call it that, because he just sounds really mad and defensive. This is what he said. All you K-pop stans freaking out right now, get your facts straight. I'm not hating or attacking on Jennie, simply telling a story I heard. It was not bashing, but simply repeating it because the topic was how dark the K-pop industry can be and why idols have a high suicide rate and how crazy these slave contracts can be. Whoever clipped that left out context, but honestly, hate all you want, I don't care. You're saying and accusing me of things that simply aren't true. You can do 10 minutes of searching to find the same conspiracies and accusations about the K-pop industry. I have nothing against Jennie and brought it up because of how wild it sounds. If you want to have a meltdown every time someone criticizes the industry that signs your favorite celebrities to slave contracts, then be my guest, but go touch some fucking grass.
Boy, if you don't get the fuck out my face.
So yeah, I guess that's not really an apology. That's just a statement, right? And I'm sorry, but like he did real damage, dog. Like you can't just say this stuff. Like imagine if I said, oh, I have a friend in LA and they were clubbing and Wuhok spiked her drink and tried to rape her. Does not matter if that's what I personally believe. Does not matter if it's true or not. I said it, and now some people are going to speculate. Damage is very easily done to your reputation. Putting it on the internet is dangerous, and they're learning that. And same with Kira's apology. Now, forgive me, she had a lot more to say than he did. I want to take a moment to directly address the viral clips circulating online and the rumors that have followed. First and foremost, the circulating videos is edited out of context and does not reflect my beliefs, intentions, or values. It was taken from a longer private conversation that was never meant to be made public, and it has since been clipped and reframed in a deeply misleading way. For context, the original clip was part of a podcast conversation from over 3 months ago behind a private paywall shared with a very small gated community. In it, I was recounting an experience I had with someone in the K-pop industry who shared disturbing claims with me. I repeated what he said word for word, not to endorse or spread it, but to highlight how deeply misogynistic and toxic the industry can be behind closed doors. I want to be clear, those were not my opinions or beliefs. They were quoted from someone else, which I found disturbing and worth discussing critically. Unfortunately, someone screen recorded that private clip, edited it to remove out the context, and shared it online in a way that falsely makes it seem like I was attacking or degrading specific artists. I deeply regret that this caused hurt to their fans and to the artists themselves. Once I was made aware of how this clip was being interpreted, I immediately removed all related context from our platform and submitted takedown requests to stop its spread. However, others have continued circulating the edited version, and some have even added false titles and commentary to fuel the outrage and gain attention. There is a long documented history of misogyny, exploitation, and abuse in entertainment industries around the world, including K-pop, and I believe it's important to talk about these systemic issues. But I now realize that even referencing sensitive allegations without clear framing can be incredibly harmful. That was a mistake on my part. To be absolutely clear, I do not endorse any defamatory claims about Jennie, IU, or any other stars. I do not support the way these edited clips have misrepresented my words. I take full responsibility for my part in creating space for the topic without enough clarity or caution. Going forward, I will refrain from discussing secondhand or unverified claims involving public figures, take extra care with sensitive content, and ensure clearer context and boundaries in all public and private content. Use my platform responsibly to elevate facts, not speculation.
So say it. Say what? Say the word you want to say.
I'm not saying that I want to say it. I'm just saying that I can't.
Sure you can. Say it. Say it right now. Both of you. Say it.
So yeah, she does seem to be more sincere with her apology because, Wuhok didn't apologize. He made a statement. She seems sincere. She seems to be, taking accountability. But you should just never name these people unless it's already out there publicly that these people have been named. You just should not do that. To me, in my opinion, it's one thing to talk about what other people are already talking about, like what's already out there and circulating, versus just making a claim and starting a rumor. Because that's what it looks like when no one else is bringing up these people and you do, and you're saying, I heard from a friend or this guy told me, then you're just starting a rumor at that point because there's no evidence. And that's why I know it might get on some people's nerves, but that's why even when I do talk about this sort of stuff and name people, I always offer a billion disclaimers. I feel uncomfortable naming these people sometimes. That's why I try to offer disclaimers to say how I feel, what I think, what the evidence out there may suggest, and to take everything with a grain of salt because we don't know what's true. We don't know these people. We are not them. We were not there when this happened, so we know nothing. The good thing about, my videos being public, with the exception of Patreon, but even on Patreon, I don't say anything that I'm like, oh no, if this gets out, I'm ruined. I don't want to share anything like that online. If it leaks or gets out there, I don't want people to be like, oh shit, now I'm ruined. I don't want to talk about people directly like that in that way. That's just me. That's my style. Even my boyfriend was like, if your Patreon videos get out there, I guess, they'll see me either way. Yeah, it's no big deal if y'all see him eventually, we are together. I've run into people in real life who have seen us together, like, oh, I saw you. This is your channel, right? And they see me with my boyfriend. So that is not a big deal. But I wouldn't say anything privately, behind a paywall, that if it got out there, this person's reputation is ruined, I'm ruined, I've violated my friend's trust or anything like that, because you never know what the internet will have access to one day. And the fun thing about doing YouTube is even if someone does try to clip something and put it on TikTok or an Instagram reel, a YouTube short, whatever, out of context, these videos are always there publicly for people to refer back to and see the full context of whatever I was actually talking about. What Kira is saying, and sure, I have no reason not to believe her, she was wanting to talk about how dark the entertainment industry of K-pop is, because like I said yesterday, I am not naive to think that, oh, this doesn't happen in the world of K-pop. They're all wholesome, innocent, egg yolky. we know this happens everywhere. We know there's exploitation. Look at what's going on with Diddy right now. I have no doubt in my mind that that sort of thing happens everywhere. So if this was really about exposing the dark side of that, then talk about that. Don't name people based off of rumors. I heard IU cost $500,000 a night. I heard Jennie has a sex tape out there. Like, what good does that do to bring that up, drag them down, and ruin their reputation, cause all this speculation with no evidence? And that's why I said, I hope they get sued, because this is dangerous and people need to know you can't just say stuff online like that and get away with it. Money and power are, well, powerful. But if you really believe this and you really want to like address how dark this industry is, then there's no need to use words like whore. Like, even if that's what he said, you don't need to repeat that. And if these allegations are indeed true, then people like IU and Jennie are either victims of this or willing participants, and they're adults consenting and they're allowed to do whatever they want. And a lot of people, the conspiracy gears are grinding. A lot of people are like, oh, Top just got to LA yesterday. This isn't a coincidence. Like, he's finally deciding to get out there again, and now his name is being dragged, and they hope he sues, and I hope he sues too, or at least gets all traces of this removed, which now you can't, because once it's in someone's head, inception, it's in there now. I don't know, I just find it all really weird. Kira apologized. Y'all can accept it or not. I don't know. It's not really our place to accept it. That's up to Jennie and IU and Top if they want to. Wuhok reacted pretty much the way I expected any entitled defensive man who refuses to be accountable for his own actions and words would. Not too surprised.
Boy, if you don't get the fuck out my face.
And like I said, trying to be fair, give credit where credit's due to some degree. When Esther said, oh, black women are loose down there, he was the one who said that doesn't make sense. He was like the only one who pushed back, even though they were all kind of like, and didn't seem to want to really address that any further. They was like, oh girl, you just messed up. He was like, no, that doesn't make sense. Anyway, yeah, I just thought it would be, important to talk about this, because yesterday's video's up. There's been some new information, some new clips and apologies and info. It's been updated. So I feel like it's fair to talk about this as well. Because yeah, some of those clips were taken out of context. That's completely not fair. But at the same time, you should never name names like that. It's just fuck around and find out. Sorry. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Annyeong.